Manage jobs and courses in GuestVision. Creating and updating jobs and courses. The Job and Schedule course area manages groups of employees and students by course or training path. In addition, the features in this section can be set up to prevent employees from clocking in or out outside of their scheduled times. Just a few tips. First, you'll want to decide how you would like to group your employees or students. For example, if you have a group of students or employees that are not allowed to take live services from your point of sale system, you'll want to have those students grouped together. If you are at a salon, for example, you might have a receptionist that's not licensed. Therefore, she will want to be in a group that cannot take any clients, versus a stylist that is licensed and can take clients. If you're at a school, you might have a Cosmo or aesthetics or manicuring group of students that are still within the phase 1 and haven't met those eligible requirements to start taking clients. You'll want those students grouped together versus the ones that are able to take clients. You'll also want to keep in mind how you track your programs, your courses, and of course your jobs, your admin jobs, and any other categories for your employees. GuestVision allows you to pull reports and filter them by jobs and courses. Therefore, it is extremely important for you to decide how you would like to organize all of your employees and students so that you can pull these reports correctly and review all of your data. To do that, you'll want to go to Manager, Admin, and then your Student Employee tab. Your Student Employee tab is where you have a list of all of your students and employees and of course all of their information. You'll want to go to the bottom left, which is where you have your Update Courses or Jobs tab. When you click on that, you're going to get the tab with the list of all of the courses and jobs that have already been entered into your system. You want to go through this list, make any changes to any existing ones by clicking Update, and deactivate any that you no longer want to use or you don't want in that list anymore. When you're adding a new one, you want to go ahead and enter a name for it and answering the following questions. I'm going to review all of these questions with you here in just a second, but here I'm entering aesthetics 2. They could perform services, they are a student, they're not an instructor or a resource, and I'm clicking Save. Now I can go ahead and move on to adding that course or that job to specific students or employees, or when I'm adding any new students or employees, I can start selecting from that. So I'm going to review these questions because they're very important when you are entering a new course or job here. So when adding a new job or course, you'll want to answer a few questions to ensure the job or course understands exactly where to display the students and how to treat them within reports. First, the name. This is very important. You want to make the name of the job or the course a name that will be easy to recognize by yourself when you're reviewing reports and also by your staff members when they're looking at the appointment book and checking clients in and out. The second one, can they perform services? If you're using the point of sale system, you'll see that when you're checking your clients in, the system knows what students are eligible to take those clients. It'll check what students are A, clocked in, and B, eligible to take clients. So if they are able to perform services like a stylist or a phase 2 or a student that has met those minimum hours and criteria, then you'll want to make sure that they're in a group that says can perform services. The next part is a student. This allows GuestVision to successfully filter your school reports for students and employee reports. This is also how the software understands the difference between student hours and payroll administration hours for your employees. Is instructor. This allows the system to really know exactly what employees are allowed to go in there and enter grades. So if you are using the grading module or assigning grades by specific instructors, you'll want to make sure you have a category for your instructors and that they are set up as is instructor. And lastly, is resource and button position. These two both apply to your appointment tab. Is resource is used if you are creating a job title in here for your facial beds, your pedicure bowls, aesthetic beds, anything else like that you want to make sure you don't overbook that equipment. Those would be considered resources. And the button position allows you to select what order you see these jobs in your appointment book. So if you look at your appointment book, you'll see that it does filter your students and your employees by job categories. You get to really pick and choose what order you see those in. Once you have entered all of your jobs and courses, then you can move on to, of course, entering any new students or employees, because all of your jobs and courses will be available for you to select from. Here I am entering a new student, entering their basic information, setting up the security level, and then here I'm going to see all the jobs and courses that I've created. I'm going to go ahead and select Aesthetics 2 and say yes so that it adds it to the grid. Here you can remove any other jobs or courses, and of course add any additional jobs or courses that you want them to be able to do as well. You can go back to any existing employees and students, update them, change them from one course to another. So if they have completed Aesthetics 1, you can now move them on over to Aesthetics 2, or create more jobs that they're available for within that grid. So you can definitely go in there and do that. If somebody had a default job or course, but they also were taking courses for another program, you can go in there, make sure that it's set up as default, but then you can still add additional ones within this grid right in there. And then of course save your changes when you've completed doing that. If you have any additional questions for jobs and courses, please contact your support line at 1-800-967-0249.